Hola, mommies and poppies. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jaylana Stevette. I'm asking that you kind of excuse some of the noise in the background. There's some renovation being done where I'm currently living right now. So if you hear that in the background or you hear my dog barking, he's probably barking at the workers out there that are doing some reconstruction where I'm situated right now. But I wanted to make this quick video. My channel is called Naughty Tales and Everything Erotica because typically, you know, my content is erotic and sexy. I create short, sexy stories. I'm a published author with a second book out or getting ready to come out in a couple of months. And I also have a third book coming out later on this year. So, and I have a podcast. But anyway, we'll get into all of that because I'm not making this video to promote those things that I'm doing per se. So I wanted to come in and if y'all have to excuse me because sometimes I may look down because I created some notes for this because I felt like it was important to share everything that has been happening to me during this 90-day period and why I believe in the power of affirmations and why I believe affirmations work. Okay. So over the last 90 days, and actually maybe now a little bit more because, yeah, a little bit, maybe a week or two more has passed in time. But my life has changed dramatically over the last 90 days. And I can honestly say it is when I got intentional about affirming for the things that I believe in and what I want my life to be. So I will start there. So this video is about the power of affirming and being clear about it and being intentional about it, okay? So let me get started. Like I said, I was on a 90-day journey, right? And I knew about the law of attraction. I knew about the law of assumption. Like I had just, tapped into the law of assumption, but not really have been serious about it. Just kind of studying up on it and looking at it and listening to different things. And so since about August of last year, I was listening to Think and Grow Rich. And then Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice, because I knew where I'm going in my life. I needed to have some key principles and keep some things constantly and consistently in my head to get me where I'm going, right? So there was a lot going on at that time. Okay, so I had a decent job, making as a salesperson, making like an hourly wage plus monthly bonuses. So I had consistent money coming in. But I wasn't happy with my living situation where I was living. I knew I had outgrown the situation and I was getting clear signs that it was time for me to go. So there was that. I wasn't really happy at my job per se because I'm the type of person that I don't like to be, nailed down in a position and feeling restrained. And it was starting to feel like restraint to me. Plus, I wanted to create a life for myself where, I was doing the things creatively all the time that I wanted to do, which was putting a lot of work and effort into my writing. So I was in a place anywhere where I wanted some things to change. So my birthday was the weekend of the 18th. November the 18th was my birthday. I was celebrating my 51st birthday. I decided to take a trip to Atlanta and spend some time with my friend. But the crazy thing is that I spent some time with myself as well. And somebody had recommended to me that I binge watch a woman here on YouTube, and her name is Sammy Ingram. And so I was like, okay, Sammy Ingram, who is she? And I YouTubed her, looked her up. I'm like, oh, she's pretty. She's got this attraction thing, but she was given some clear principles. And I did what my friend suggested, binge watch. So I began to binge watch, and she was just talking about the power of affirmations. And I know, and inside you, you already know those things, especially if you follow law of assumption, law of attraction. There's things that you inherently know. But she had created this, affirming, the belief of affirming for at least 10 minutes for what you want a day. And I was thinking to myself, I could do that. But I decided I was going to take 10 minutes per subject, like she suggested. You know what I mean? I'm always been a firm believer in spending quality time with myself. So I said, what the hell could happen if I just take a chance and do that? So I began affirming for 10 minutes a day for 3 different subjects. One of those was relocation, something that I have been talking about for years. Another subject was money, of course. And then the third subject was my social media presence. So I began affirming for those 3 things. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to document and see what happens. I mean, what can happen anyway? I mean, time's going to pass anyway, whether I affirm or not. So that was my thought process in doing it. But I was surprised by what has been happening. So I'm getting ready to go into my notes and tell you the things that have been happening. Well, let's see here. All right. So it's been 40 days since this has actually been happening. So the first thing, in less than 30 days, okay, I found the first, and like immediately, like the first day I began affirming, I was walking my dog and I found $1 on the street in the winter, in the snow, as I'm walking my dog. Okay. So that's the first thing. So money affirmations, I'm like, and people think, oh, that's nothing. It's just $1. But it came back to me immediately. Immediately as I began to affirm, right? A new idea came to me. And then I checked my podcast numbers. And at the time, I had 7 countries that were tuning in. So I was super excited about that. I'm like, I've got 7 countries listening to my podcast. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so then about a week into my affirming, I realized my social media engagement was up by like 19%. So my views were up on my videos, like all of those things were happening in like the first week of affirming. And then my money, I picked up like a freelance assignment. So I got an offer. So I began affirming in November. In the middle of November. By the middle of December, I got an offer for a freelance contract assignment that was a 2-week assignment that was going to pay me more than what I was making a month in 30 days on my job. Large sums of money coming in, contract assignments, and things that I've been affirming for. On my job, at the same time, I got the highest retention I had ever gotten. And at the same time, I got the highest bonus in the month of December that I had ever gotten. And that was just in 30 days of affirming, right? 30, okay? One of the things also I noticed was the absence of worry and fear. Because the more that I affirmed, the more that my subconscious was just, listening to those affirmations and going and getting those things that I wanted, right? Okay, so as I was beginning to affirm, y'all, it's so much. I ended up, as I was affirming for 3 key things, I ended up manifesting something that I wasn't even affirming for, which was an SP, a significant partner. So in December, when all these other things were happening, this person reached out to me, and this is a person that I had dated before, but they reached back out to me. And it was just weird. All the conditions were right and everything. And so, it was like by the end of the year, I had an SP, something that I wasn't even, using my affirmations for. So there is that. So back to the things that have been happening. Not only did I manifest an SP, so in January, I noticed that my podcast listeners had increased, to 29 countries. So I went from November to 7 to 9 countries to January, 29 countries were now tuning into my podcast. And this was in January. I also, on my a current job, or the job that I got the top numbers on my team for like 3 days in a row. I got the top numbers for the month on my team, got the top bonus. Like, it was just insane, right? I then looked at my social media. All of my videos that were struggling to get views. Some of my videos would get 36 views. We're now getting like 1.6K views, 4.8K views, 5.6K views. So all of my videos began to, get all of these views. I started picking up followers. Like, I picked up over 2,000, maybe 3,000 followers over the last 90 days. On my Facebook, my Instagram views, which, Instagram's a beast, but my Instagram views have picked up, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot. So I took that contract assignment that paid me double. So I had a vacation from my job, and I'm bringing in double what I was making for the month. So I had double the income come in for that month. I had the top numbers on my team. I manifested an SP, so all of these things, right? And then to top it off, my SP asked me at the end of December to relocate. One of the things that I had been affirming for was a relocation. I knew that I was going to be doing it, but I didn't know when. But I'm going to back up even for the relocation. When I got back in town in November, when I was thinking about everything that was going on in my current living situation, I said to myself, and I said to a girlfriend, and she can validate it, I said, I don't want to pay this rental office another damn dime of my money. Well, as soon as I got back, 2 days later, I got an email from a social service indicating that they had sent funds over to pay my rent. I'm like, what? I didn't even apply for this. So I had reached out to my landlord, like, what's going on? Well, apparently he had applied on my behalf, and they sent this large sum of money over. They sent about $4,000 over. So that covered 3 months worth of rent. So I was like, I didn't have to pay another dime. That was in December that they sent that money over, because it was 2 weeks from when I had come back from, my birthday in Atlanta. So 2 weeks later, I realized I didn't have to pay another dime of money. And I was like, I can move by March, right? Well, baby, listen. By the time that 90 days hit, it was February the 15th. Or February, the 90-day period would have been February the 19th that I actually started affirming. So I relocated on February the 15th. I relocated. I don't think you heard me. I relocated on February the 15th. Less than 90 days of affirming for that, I relocated. I have multiple contract assignment jobs coming in and offers now since I relocated. And that's one of the things I was affirming for. You know what I mean? So money is consistently coming in. Like, all the things that I've been affirming for have been manifesting before my eyes. Y'all, this affirming works. Whether you want to believe it works or not, it simply works. And when I first started affirming, of course your mind tells you, oh, this is not true, da 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 da. But you got to keep doing it. You got to keep affirming. You have to keep affirming until you see the thing manifest. So, again, I give my kudos to Sammy Ingram for her videos that motivated and inspired me to take the action to affirm. And that's another thing. You can't just do it for 10 minutes and then get up and then think all kind of negative stuff, and then go about your day and do things that will retract what you're affirming for. So there's that too. So kudos to Sammy Ingram. I love your videos. And I accepted the challenge. And the thing is, when I think about affirming, my thought process is I'm affirming as if my life depends on it. You know why? Because my life does depend on it. The life that I am creating, the amazing things that I want to do, all depend on what I am affirming and what's coming out of my mouth and what I'm thinking. Period. So, what do you have to lose? Like, seriously, what do you have to lose? The time is going to pass anyway. Now I'm up to be honest, I am up to a little over an hour of affirming. Whether I'm affirming, doing rampages, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm up to over an hour a day. Because I heard somewhere that successful people, affirm for at least an hour a day. So I was like, hey, I want to know successful people. That hour in your day is going to pass anyway. So why not spend that time and invest it in you? There's that. But anywho, I hope you liked this message. If you did, like, share, and subscribe. I've got a book coming out in May. May the 15th is the date. It's almost happy. The Chronicles of Tabby. And I guarantee you it's going to be on the bestseller list. Trust me. I am super excited about that project. Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all, because, in January I had mentioned that I was up to 29 countries. So again, at the end of October, beginning of November, I was up to between 7 and 9 countries listening to my podcast, Naughty Tales and Toy Stories. Well, as of today, there are 42 countries listening to my podcast in a little over 90 days. And I had clear, intentional affirmations for my podcast. So you can't tell me that affirming does not work. Affirm as if your life depends on it. Again, if you like this message, like, share, and subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Some of them may be about, affirming and things like that. Others may just be sharing some of my content, so you can get a full flow of who Jaylana Stevat is. So there's that. Mommies and poppies, thank you so much for tuning in.